Hey there everyone! In this episode of Essential Mods, we'll be taking a look at some of the mods for the player character. Keep in mind that this is my opinion and that there are plenty of viable alternatives out there for the discerning gamer to choose from. Now, the first thing we're going to take a look at in this episode is skin mods. Now, my personal favorite is Mature Skin Texture by Maven 2. Now, this is my go-to for skin textures. Not only is the texture very realistic, but the specular maps get along with just about every EMB that I have ever tried with little or no tweaking. Now, I've used many other skin textures, but I always return to Mature Skin with its many options such as young versus old, blemishes, moles, and shaving choices. Now, other notable skin textures I have used are Leyenda Skin by Hero de Leyenda, Demoniac by RegenBot03, and Fair Skin by H. Haley. All three of those are excellent, and I'm especially fond of Leyenda Skin. All skin mods have their pros and cons, and their appearance is often dependent on your EMB and the look that you're trying to achieve. Like, for instance, with my current EMB, Demoniac looked great, but it made Tish look a little too young, and she's supposed to be in her early 30s. So my advice is to pick your skin texture according to the look that you're trying to achieve and one that works well with your EMB. Keep in mind that skin texture mods will also affect the way other texture mods look. For instance, I use Kai's makeup and war paint, and with the colors and tints that are adjusted for mature skin. So when I switched to fair skin as a test for this video, the colors were much brighter and I had to tone them down a little bit. So long story short, if you try out a skin mod, don't dismiss it right away if it doesn't look the way you want. You may have to get into race menu and do some tweaking with your character's colors. So next up, we have hair mods. There are a ton out there, but my favorite has always been KS Hairdo by Kalilies and Stealthic. This is hands down my favorite hair mod. I have an Apache as well, and not that that's bad. In fact, it has some wonderful hairstyles in it. But I used KS on all of my lady characters, all of the follower mods that I have made, and so that makes it my number one. The mod contains 725 hairstyles, 725. 646 of them are for the ladies, and the remaining 79 are for the guys. The varieties of styles is absolutely staggering, and the mod authors are continually adding more, so my thanks to them for their hard work. Now, speaking of KS hairdos, there is an HDT physics version of some of the hairstyles. This is a different mod that you have to download, and then you have to make sure you have all of the HDT support mods installed prior to doing this. Now, this is also from Stealthic and Kalilies, and it's one that I use for my girl Tish's hair. Now, because of the extra work involved in making the hair move, there are only 75 hairstyles in this version, but you can imagine how tickled I was when I found the HDT version of Tish's hairstyle, which I believe is called Seafoam. So, my hat's off to them. Up next, I'm going to talk about eyes. I know this may seem like a very minor thing, but you'd be surprised how much a set of pretty eyes can make a character stand out and add that extra touch of refinement and uniqueness. Now, my favorite is Linds Human Eyes by Lind001 at Linds Workshop. Now, again, there are lots of other eye mods, but I personally consider Linds to be the Cadillac of the eye mods. The clarity, shine, beauty, and variety is astounding. The mod adds 50 new human eyes available for selection in both race menu and ECE. Linds' attention to detail and superb cube maps really make these eyes pop, no pun intended. Like the Mature Skin mod, Linds is my go-to mod for eyes, and I have used them on all of my followers that I've designed. I reviewed this mod some time ago, and I will put a link to that review in the description below. Now, I have not used it, but Lynn also offers a Elven eye mod, so if you have an Elven character that you're working on, you might want to take a look at that. And then finally, before I move on, I will say that Eyes of Beauty comes in a close second and is also worth taking a look at. Next up, we're going to talk about Freckle mods. Now, you may be thinking, why would I need that? You would actually be surprised. Bear with me and I will explain. Now, my personal favorites are Frecklemania and Frecklemania 2 by Tetrodoxin. Now, since I favor redheads for my characters, a Freckle mod is an absolute must-have, and there are none better than these two. Now, Tetro made them both for U and P, but if you pick out some of the more subtle texture overlays, you can apply them to CBBE and it looks fantastic. Now, Frecklemania 2 added a ton of more options for both men and women in both 2K and 4K resolutions, as well as some dirt textures if you want to play around with those. Now, as a side note, both mods can be loaded and used at the same time. Now, I love these Freckle mods because I feel they add a much needed touch of beauty and diversity to character creation. As I was saying earlier, you may not have realized you needed these mods until you try them out and experiment a little bit. Adding a sprinkle of freckles or a beauty mark to a character's face or body really does set them apart from others, so I encourage you to check them out. To close out this video, I encourage you to download these mods and try them out and see what you think. Play with them a little bit, experiment. You will be really surprised how much a difference it will make with your character. Now, as always, be sure to check the requirements and follow the installation instructions carefully. Once again, I'm your host, Porterhouse, and if you found this video informative and enjoyable, be sure to hit that like button, drop me a comment, and subscribe if you have not already done so. I will see you all at the next Essential Mods.